So here another part, you can see the wall going up the hill. There is a piece of a column here that really looks like a tourist pamphlet. It's 2 meters by 70 by 60, so that's an approximate weight of 2 tons. Look at the size of this one block. It's definitely more than 2 meters. That brings it up to 2.7 tons. We are here in the northwest of Crete. It's a cloudy day and we find here a so-called rock-cut house. Kind of similar to the Domus de Llanas we've seen in Sardinia. This rocky hill with some walls, and this is the acropolis of Polyrrhenia, or something like that. We are just underneath the hill, and you can see up there there's a really interesting piece of wall or turret or whatever, and there's more further down. This is supposed to be again a Hellenistic site, so not Minoan, but much later. Oh, I think we will find something interesting here. So now we are right underneath, and you can see there's 2 pieces of wall up there, and actually one doesn't seem to have big stones, but the other one to the right seems to be an alternation. There's a few big stones and then a lot of smaller ones, so maybe it was again a site reused by later cultures. So here we got to the first bastion. It's definitely more recent stuff. This is not Greek, or let's say not Hellenistic. It's even got mortar in between, small stones, and a good part of this, as far as I can see from here, seems to be of this kind, but I keep my hope. I can see up on the top, on the central bastion there, some very big stones, so let's see when we get on top. So here another part, you can see the wall going up the hill, but again it's just small stones here, so I'm not sure if this is the one that's considered to be Hellenistic, but so far, even on mainland Greece, we haven't seen something Hellenistic that looks like this, at least not a alleged defensive wall. Well, let's see. So here we are still climbing the hill, the Acropolis, and all of a sudden we find these few blocks part of another wall, but with big stones. At least this one in the middle is really big. Deborah, just to give you a sense of scale on the size of this one block, I move over here. Okay, I can see this is definitely something different than this small, almost brick wall. That's not bricks, it's little stones with mortar. So while climbing the hill from time to time, we meet with a few big square blocks like this one. It's definitely man-made because it's too square. There's another one there in the front. Deborah just found that one as well. So this is definitely older stuff, at least bigger stuff. And here too, there is one. You can see there. Again, it's square. So definitely this site must have been colonized by other people later, who built these smaller walls with smaller blocks, but I still keep hope that we will find something bigger. There is a piece of a column here that really looks like a tourist pamphlet. A column sticking out of the ground like this in the middle of the bushes. So it's, you see, I don't know how deep it goes, but it's the part that's sticking out is quite big. So here we get our reply. It says early Christian church, and of course there's little left because it was made with small stones. It's basically rubble, but in the background there again you can see another piece of a column cylindrical piece of stone, and then another square one, and up there there's other ones, big square ones. So there again you can see right over the outcropping rocks a few huge blocks, then covered with much smaller stones. And here right on the pathway we meet these two blocks. Deborah, please. That's definitely man-made. You see there's niches carved in it and even a kind of a ledge on top. And I just measured the sizes with a meter. It's 2 meters by 70 by 60 centimeters, so that's an approximate weight of 2 tons for this one single block here in the middle of nowhere. You see there's just bushes around, so it's hard to say what part of what it was. So we are getting close to the top. You see here there's remains out of very small stones and even some brickwork, I believe. It's on an alternation of nicely square and big block with mortar filled small stones and bricks. So here we are right on the walls. Again, it's small bricks here, and you can see there the wall we basically walked along in the way up, but that's all with smaller stones and bricks. You see there's bricks mixed in with stones and mortar. And there's a 360 degrees view here. It's beautiful. So it's really hard to say what happened here, but it really seems that the place has been rebuilt and what was left was covered. But just to show you here in the back, we just walked along again a few, not huge, but quite interesting blocks, clearly squared. This one might have been one, but I am referring rather to these ones here that are clearly of a totally different manufacturing style than those walls over there. But actually here all the hills have these terraces. If I give you a look around, you can see all the hills have these terraces. So if there was a Hellenistic wall here, it's probably been repurposed in more modern times to make these terraces. You see here too, there's terraces all over the place to plant olive trees and probably other crops. So here there's a church and a graveyard. We're on our way down. It says ancient sanctuary of, I cannot even read it anymore, Terraces or something like that. And here it's full of nice big blocks. Look at that. It's quite big blocks here. So maybe that's what they meant by Hellenistic site. Look at this block. I mean, that's a huge one. At least we found our thumbnail place all the way along. But of course there must be a church on top. We've seen that before in Italy, in Greece as well. There's some nice cut corners here. So this one has been cut to make a little corner, a little joint for other stones to adapt and probably make the wall more fixed, more stable. So there was something Hellenistic here, indeed. So I was able to get down, and this piece of the sanctuary, whatever it was, is really amazing. I mean, look at the size of this one block. It's definitely more than 2 meters. Now Deborah will lie down to show you. She will try to. She says it's full of thorns. But anyway, this single block is much longer than her. And she's 160, so yeah, about 2 meters by I guess 1 meter height. We can measure it, and it's just one after the other. The wall is not really high at this point, but there's stones on the ground here. You see these are still part of the original wall. Again, we have actually smaller stones in the bottom and bigger stones on top. This is also a peculiar feature which we keep on seeing. And the funny thing is that I'm inside some closed area from the farmers, and the most beautiful view of the whole site is here. So I had actually to jump down this 2 meters high wall to get here. See Deborah sitting on top of this huge slab, which we just measured at being a little bit over 2 tons, and there's several of them, and the joints down here are really, really precise. And you see there's a 2 tons block on top, and then they put this small stone here. So it was a matter of style, and it's certainly going deeper, and it was going higher because there's more blocks here. Finally we found something worthy. So it's still worth a little bit disappointing the rest of the site. You see it's over there, that's the acropolis. You can see a few of the modern walls, or modern, let's say, not ancient, not megalithic, but here there was something ancient and big and impressive. So a detail here on how the stone was cut. You see there's a hole here cut out from this huge block, which is again, around 2 tons or something. Anyway, a hole here. Then there's another level here, which was meant for another block that would go all the way to here, and here another stone starts. And so, it was really, I mean, unless they just broke it and so they just made it nice, or it must have had a purpose to cut such, I mean, it's just completely self-standing. It's not needed because there's already this one and this one next to it. So this block is even bigger. I measured it to 40 by 1 meter by 45 centimeters. That brings it up to 2.7 tons. And the interesting thing is that they are 1 meter high. Actually 99 centimeters today. So it almost looks like they somehow knew the meter when they built this wall, because it's really so precise. So obviously when they built the church on top of the ancient pagan temple, they reused the stones. You can see them here on the bottom as well. These are certainly reused from the ancient side, because then in between it's a lot of smaller stuff. Again, the church with a lot of reused blocks. And then here somebody put the remaining ones found around in a circle. And there's probably a plate, an indication plate there in the front, giving us information about this temple. Yes, there it is. It says it was a Hellenistic and Roman city. There's a nice picture of the overall wall circuit. And it's starting to rain right now, so we're probably gonna get back